Where's the head of the circle? Geometrically speaking, there isn't one. Each point on the circle can be treated as both the beginning and the end. Each point has equal status. To me, there is profound beauty in the circle. By contrast, it was easy to figure out who was at the head of the dinner table, at least at my dad's house. He was at one end, my difficult stepmother at the other. The 8 kids sat on benches, jockeying for position closest to the pancakes. The bigger brothers usually won. It's also easy to figure out who is at the top of the corporate pyramid, the boss, and then the layers of people who boss over those below until you get to the bottom of the pecking order. At least that's the traditional model. And it's been traditional and widespread, I believe, because our primitive brain knows all about the hierarchy and our status. But what kind of status? That depends on the context, doesn't it? Smarts, beauty, physical size and strength, influence, money, titles of nobility, land ownership, chain of command, military rank, fashion and style, level of education, popularity, social media followers, anyone? Deep parts of our brain understand hierarchy. Our brain even craves the pleasure hit we get from moving up in status. There's also a sense of comfort knowing where we are in the pecking order, and anxiety when we feel we're at risk of losing our place. You see, status comes with primal imperatives, which are protect the status you have, gain status if you can without too much risk of successful attack against you. And sadly, the primal reaction to be aware of those with less status and, quote, keep them in their place. What place? Their place in the primal hierarchy. Doesn't feel very emotionally free, does it? It's not. In our quest for emotional freedom for all, we become aware of primal hierarchy and the way our body-mind reacts to it. Your reaction may be to compete and win, or to struggle to keep the status quo. It could be to hide, even hide in plain sight to avoid being challenged or being put down. You know that a put down is about status, right? And there are others. Status anxiety is a flavor of social anxiety where everywhere you go, you feel less than or feel on the alert for those with higher status or those challenging yours. Heck, pretending you the man and there ain't no one better than you is, to my ears, a form of status delusion befitting a king or president. Chances are such people are not listening to this. The status game works well for those with certain kinds of attributes. People like us, we certainly have our gifts. Some of those gifts might work really well in the status game too, but we want emotional freedom. And we're also willing to generously desire emotional freedom for all beings. Therefore, we are the ones who are likely to explore new models of relating and engaging and co-creating. And that's what this is about. Power with the energy of the circle, not power over the energy of hierarchy. And thank you for showing up to explore this with me. It feels like it's time for emotionally aware people to engage differently as often as we can and co-create spaces and places where that might be increasingly possible. With that in mind, I'm going to share a guided feelization. And here's a pro tip. You can use this even if the people are not arranged in a physical circle. This is a heart energy orientation exercise that can be done around a square table, even with a boss at the head, or in a Zoom video conference with people joining from around the world. You can do it solo internally or out loud with others who are open to being attuned this way. Let's begin. We start with cultivating feelings of togetherness. When people are co-regulating, something profound happens in their heart field, the energy that both affects the body and radiates out to infuse the we space outside the body. It's our heart field that more easily touches, supports, and interacts in ways that allow for feelings of togetherness that are not concerned with status. Have you ever had such a feeling of togetherness? See if you can remember a moment when status faded into the background and you felt more oneness, greater ease, supported in a way that felt generous and mutual without even needing to be spoken. My name for this is the shared heart. Take a breath, and now let's layer in the geometry of the circle. Imagine that a group of people with diverse gifts are coming together. A circle starts to form. As a few more people arrive, you see the circle open up to make room for others. There's a willingness to make space, to welcome, and moments of expansion as the circle gets bigger, as each person joins. Take a breath as you walk up and join this circle yourself. A space opens for you. The circle expands, and you have an equal spot amongst this diverse group. Take a moment and let go of any stories you have about the individuals present. Our status brain makes up stories, doesn't it? Take a breath and consciously choose to let the stories go and be replaced with a soft curiosity. Now take another breath and feel gravity working. Let your body allow gravity to embrace you and relax a bit more towards the earth. Take another breath and realize that gravity is there for all of us. We share both gravity and the earth right now, and this circle. As you take another breath, become aware of how you might be feeling status-wise. Are you looking for who the leader is? What if there is none? If this makes you anxious, perhaps do some tapping to soothe your primitive brain's arousal. Allow yourself to become aware again of your breath, and also the breath of those all around the circle. As you do, expand your awareness to include the hearts of all the people too. Imagine there's a radiance coming from each person, some soft and nourishing, others alive and vibrant, some with asking for support. Let go of any notion that one form of heart radiance is of higher status than another. See if you can realize that different colors complement each other. Notice how if everyone were vibrating the same way, that it might feel flat and monotonous. That each color and sound of us can, if we let it, come into a unified harmony that becomes the shared heart. If you are feeling at all less than anyone else around this circle, take another breath and allow yourself to be more in your body, more present, and feel your key place in the circle. If you walked away right now, the circle would have a gap, and then it would have to contract to stay a circle. Your presence is important, just as important as anyone else's. If any part of you is trying to take charge, assert control or dominion, or be seen as brighter and more valuable than anyone else, smile at that part of you. Invite it to let go of the striving, which takes so much energy, and just be here now. There's no need to assert or control. We're engaging in circle play, and you're so welcome here. We all are. Take another deep breath and just notice what you feel. Thank you. Circle time allows for the shared experience of relief and presence. And while co creating, that's less about status, maybe awkward for these days, it is truly a sweet experience. We have often looked to charismatic leaders to, quote, bring the people together. I propose it is people like you and me who can be hosts, facilitators, and catalysts for circles to form with the intention of being rich with realness and quiet in status. I know this is possible. I facilitate a circle like this and have for 14 years. I'm part of dance circles that do this too. I've been in workshops where the circle energy is truly present, and it's in my home. These experiences have changed my heart and my brain. I find myself ever more hungry and curious for co creation with other people. And these days, honestly, primal hierarchy bores me. There's so much more. I hope we will explore together on this. Until next time, I am Rick at Thriving Now. How did this feel to you? Are there experiences of this circle energy that you get to have? If so, where? I'd love to hear more examples. Email me at rick@emotionalfreedom.love or visit emotionalfreedom.love and leave a comment. Thanks for listening.